Resilience, the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Got to have it. It's going to happen, but man, we got to excel in it. The cracks of living life, playing in the NFL, fill them with gold, man.
It's week number 6 of this NFL season and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Inside the Globe Life studio here at the Star in Frisco, Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. It's the 4-1 Cowboys against the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. You can't ask for much more than this. What a great opportunity for this team.
No doubt about it, Bill. This is an excellent stage to compete in. Philadelphia is always an environment that's unique, as we can say on the air here, is about as far as we can go. But no, this is what it's all about. Division games are the best. I personally have always loved competing in them, and I know our players are really looking forward to Sunday night.
Obviously, the Eagles off to a terrific start this year at 5-0. What is it that stands out about this Philadelphia team? They made a lot of changes in the offseason. Well,
I think the biggest thing is, you're watching the talent grow up, and I think they've done a really good job with their roster. You're seeing the maturation of their offensive system. I mean, the defense is definitely now in the second year, their system. So I just think it's a football team that's on, it's on the swing up, and it's going to be a great game. I think it's a lot of great matchups throughout both lineups. And I think, the other thing is you got to recognize their productivity. They've done a really nice job. Obviously, the record speaks for itself, and but the productivity that they've had on offense and defense is impressive.
All right, and your team is on the swing up as well. And let's look back at that win over the Rams last week. It sure is nice on the third play of the game when you get a strip sack and a touchdown.
Yeah, we need to order that up every week. I love the way that game started. So, no, it's I just think it speaks to our football team. I just love the way our men play. Just the play style, week in and week out, really all 5 weeks. I think we definitely have come ready to play, and we're playing the right way. Obviously, we need to just continue to work on the execution and improve from within. But, the tempo, the pace, and the way we started that game, the physicality and the way it held up, I mean, that's exactly how we wanted to play that game. So I was very proud of our football team.
And, of course, defensively, not only the way you started the game, but the way you finished the game, too. And Micah Parsons, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, and the way he played, you weren't going to keep him off the field in the second half of that game, groin injury or not, and he had a couple of sacks to help close out that win.
Oh, no doubt. He finished the game, clearly. But, yeah, I think anything, Micah obviously going through the injury, I think the play time really worked out the way it should have been for him personally. But I just want to give a lot of credit to the other men in the front, the defensive front. We have a great rotation going on right now, and it's been huge for us.
And one of those guys, Osa Odigizua, he was a tone setter throughout the game. I mean,
no doubt.
It was a tackle for a loss or a sack, at key moments in the game, too.
We're not talking enough about Osa. I mean, Osa's been playing high-quality football all year. So, and I know going back to L.A. was important to him. But, yeah, I thought he had an excellent performance.
All right, against this Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts, when you've got the run-pass option of the quarterback, what challenge does that present for you?
Well, I just think the biggest thing is option. I just think like anything, the way the NFL has changed with the influx of, the quarterback, movement, but particularly in the run game. So he is definitely a threat that way. And they do a really good job of mirroring their formations and the action that comes off of that. So, obviously a ton of screens. I think I had 13 screens last week and, 7 pick plays. So, it's those kind of things that are unique to their style. They have hit on some big plays down the field too. So, but I think Jalen has done a really nice job this year.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Up next, it's David Moore of the Dallas Morning News.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. The University of North Texas, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, an NRG company.
The Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, continues now as we are joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, SportsDayDFW.com. And we celebrated a birthday here around the Star this week. Back on Thursday, Jerry Jones celebrates number 80. But really the celebration began last Sunday against the Rams, don't you think?
It did. That was as giddy and effusive as you've seen Jerry Jones after a game in quite a while. I think there are a lot of reasons for it. Of course, going 4-1 unexpectedly, given the circumstances coming out of the opener. His birthday being so close, but also, he was an integral part of getting the Rams back in LA and helping to get that beautiful SoFi Stadium built. And that stadium, the house he grew up in, that his father built a home close to the LAX airport runway. And it really is, it's not much of an exaggeration to say it's in the shadow of SoFi Stadium. But Jerry grew up there the first 6 years of his life in a $400 house built by his father. I think Jerry, as he's 80 and reaches these milestones, is even more reflective. So I think there were a confluence of events that came together with that Rams victory that in a lot of ways that was his birthday celebration.
He really wants a birthday celebration this Sunday, though, against the Eagles.
Yes, he did. Well, like Jerry says, there's no need to stop a party. Jerry's always the last one to leave a party. So once you have the party going, you want to keep it going. And that's certainly his approach with this team.
Okay, one of the keys for the Cowboys against this Eagles team, okay, you got a running quarterback in Jalen Hurts who can also throw the ball. Now we got Micah Parsons for the Cowboys, who is nursing a groin injury right now. Parsons versus Hurts, what do you think is happening there?
Well, I find this to be a fascinating argument, and so often in the past, you really couldn't have these sort of discussions with the Cowboys, right? You just had to decide what your plan was. But now Micah Parsons gives you this latitude, and the question going into the game is, do you want Micah Parsons in more of a linebacker role to spy and shadow Hurts because he can hurt you so much as a runner and with the screen pass and underneath passes, or do you want him on the line rushing the quarterback, just going right after him and contain that part of his run game elsewhere? But this is where the groin injury comes into play, right? Maybe if you say if there are going to be lateral issues coming off a groin injury, maybe that makes your determination on where he is. Wherever he plays, he's going to be a factor in this game. But you have to take his health into consideration on how you deploy him.
You know, this game reminds me of the 1991 game in Philadelphia, which was a 25-13 Cowboys win. Steve Berline starting at quarterback for the Cowboys. And what Jimmy Johnson told Steve Berline before that game, don't turn the football over, and he didn't.
Yeah, and that is what Cooper Rush has not done. No turnovers in these 4 games, here that he started. Can he keep that up? And, the longer that streak goes, you always go, well, certainly he's going to have to turn it over at some point, right? People probably thought that going into the Rams game. He didn't do it there. So with this defense, if you don't turn the ball over, you're going into the fourth quarter of every game with a chance to win.
And by the way, that 1991 Cowboys win, the Cowboys won the division. That was probably Jerry Jones' first celebration as Cowboys head coach, or Cowboys owner.
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't the opener.
That's exactly right. That's right. All right, David Moore, we appreciate it. And up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, how about a little Osa Odigizua?
This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team.
Osa Odigizua, defensive tackle. I feel like the level of execution has just gone up. You know what I mean? Like the hunger is still there, the play style is still there, but now I feel like we're executing at a higher level. It's been great. I love those guys. They keep a very fun vibe while also keeping us very productive. We're getting things done. We're getting all the information that we need. We're learning, but we're having a great time doing it. It's great. It's really fun. The level of competition is very high, so it keeps everyone hungry. Everyone's trying to put their best foot forward every week and have a great week. I feel like you just got to do a good job of one, stopping the run, That's crucial every week. We're good at rushing the passer, so stopping the run so that we can be able to do that and pin our ears back and go have fun. I don't know, this is just a good team, you know what I mean? Like, probably the best team that we faced all year, so it's always fun when you're playing a really good opponent. So looking forward to it.
What a game Osa Odigizua had last week, and now we are joined by Will McClay. We got the telestrator out. Let's take an up-close look at these Philadelphia Eagles and a couple of newcomers to the Eagles this year. Of course, on draft day, they made the trade for A.J. Brown. How about we start with him?
Yeah, you know, an added weapon to an explosive offense. All right, we're going to look at him here. He goes back with his old friendship with the quarterback, the connection. They see man coverage. Whenever he sees that single high, he's going to throw it to him, and there's a big play going up and getting the ball.
All right, so he's able to stretch the field, get downfield. He can also run with the ball after he catches it.
Absolutely. What they do here with Philly is kind of a college offense, but they got NFL players. And so what they're going to do is draw your eyes a bunch of different places and find a way to get the ball in the playmaker's hand. See A.J. highlighted here. They're going to sit in the back. The linebackers are going to run that way. They do a great job running a screen and slipping them out and then avoiding, and then he's hard to tackle after the catch. We've got to rally around.
Of course, A.J. Brown, a very talented player. In fact, he was an Under Armour All-American in both football and baseball in high school in Starkville, Mississippi. Talk about an athlete, though. How about the guy out of Georgia, their first-round pick, number 13 overall, and that would be the big defensive tackle, number 90.
Yes, Jordan Davis. The rich get richer here. They've got Fletcher Cox. They added Jordan Davis. We're going to look at him here and the presence he brings to the inside, controlling both A-gaps. They're going to try and run here at the goal line, and what happens is he's going to get knocked back, make the running back stop his feet, and you're going to allow the other guys to pursue. So that presence up front.
And we take another look at him here because here's a guy that can push that pocket, too.
Yes. One of the things you don't like to see as a quarterback is that pocket being pushed in your face. Here you go. You're going to see 6'6", 340 coming at you with power, pushing right down the middle, makes the quarterback uncomfortable. Hurry up a throw. We've got to take care of that in the middle.
All right. You said 6'6", 340, and he ran a 4.78 at the combine?
Yep, about my speed.
Not quite at 6'6", 340, though, thankfully. All right, Will McClay, we appreciate it. The head coach rejoins us in just a moment here on the Mike McCarthy Show.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions. Trusted by America's team. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
We talk about resiliency, but I mean, we definitely have a brotherhood. I think this team has a different purpose. Our purpose is, you know, going out there and playing for our brothers. And so, you know, when we go out there, we want to make sure we're not letting each other down. And so, I mean, when you go out there, you're playing for something bigger than yourself. You know, it gives you a lot of motivation.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy inside the Globe Life studio. Now rejoined by the coach, Will McClay, talking about the Eagles' defense in the last segment, in particular the rookie defensive tackle, Jordan Davis. The Cowboys' front seven has been playing great on defense, as is the back end, but that front seven for Philly is pretty strong too. And one guy in particular I want to ask you about is Hassan Reddick, who is one of the newcomers on the team this year. Of course, last year with Carolina, he had 11.5 sacks, and he's off to a terrific start this year.
Off to a terrific start. It's been an excellent addition for them, clearly. You can see he really picked up where he left off in Carolina, so he's playing at a very high level. You know, you already mentioned Jordan. You know, actually Will and I were at the Georgia workout, so he's another excellent add to really a defensive line that has a lot of depth. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a battle in the trenches Sunday night.
Yeah, they got some youth to go along with the old veterans with Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, who are playing well too, right?
Oh, no doubt. And don't forget about Hargrave. You know, I thought really, you know, he was probably, in my opinion, the best interior defensive lineman last year. So it's an excellent group. And
on their back end, you with the four-time Pro Bowler in Darius Slay. Now they've added James Bradbury.
Yeah, I mean, two veteran corners that obviously very instinctive. I've coached a lot of football against Slay up. You know, he was up there in Detroit too. So you just, you know, he does a great job in route recognition. So you know that's something we're preparing for and so forth. But you know, at the end of the day, this is a great challenge for us. And and for the 15th time, we're looking forward to it.
All right, turnover differential is so big, and Eagles are +9. You're +5. I'll add a block punt in there for another turnover for +6 last week. Quarterback's taking care of the football, and that's one of the huge things that Cooper Rush is doing for you right now.
Definitely. I mean, it's something I know every team works on in the game of football, but we do an excellent job, and it has been, something that we've been able to hold fast, each and every week. So, I mean, it's going to be big Sunday night. They're doing an excellent job, too. They're doing a really good job protecting it and obviously taking it away. So I think that'll be one of the key statistics in the game.
Now, out on the practice field this week, we saw Dak Prescott. Can you give us a little update on what's going on with Dak?
Yeah, definitely. Dak's making progress. He's thrown a little more each and every day. So I just think, like, anything, there's a recovery component of it. So, he's able to, throw some Wednesday, throw some Thursday, and then Friday was his recovery day. So we'll see what the weekend brings.
All right. The run game was big last week against the Rams, both sides, run defense and on offense. That's what you're looking for with Zeke and Tony Pollard offensively, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could just springboard that right into the Philadelphia game. I mean, that's going to be a huge part of this game. You look at the way they run the football, our run defense. That's, they're up for a big challenge. Tackling will be at a premium. This is a perimeter group. It's a spacing offense. They do a good job of creating space for their perimeter players. So, and obviously, with that defensive front of Philadelphia we've already talked about, we need to be really on our P's and Q's and really get after these guys and really finish and get Tony and Zeke to the second level.
And how about the Eagles on offense and the weapons that they have on offense now? They've added A.J. Brown now, and of course they last year Devontae Smith, the first-round draft pick.
Yeah, definitely. And I think A.J.'s been an excellent add for them. I mean, just his particular style, the more around the line of scrimmage, the action component. So I think the receiver group really complements each other very well. Dallas is definitely a challenge too. So I think you're seeing an offense that's on its way up, and they've been very, very productive the first 5 weeks.
All right, we wrap up the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment.
It's just a great challenge. You look at the film, he's just extending plays. He's breaking the threshold of the coverage, and he has some weapons that he can look downfield to. Know that guys are going to get open, so we got to try to do our best to contain that this week.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's different. It's different. I played there for the first time with fans last year, and it was crazy. Philly fans are crazy for sure. They're diehards about their team, and that's what makes the game, as exciting as it is. So see you soon, Philly.
Final couple of minutes here of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. My unsung stars of the week, and these guys don't get enough love each and every week. I know they do from you, but not from everyone else. It's special teams and how big special teams has been. We saw Dorrance Armstrong with the block punt. We saw Brian Anger last week pinning the Rams down a couple of times, and I think he's second in the league, punts inside the 20. And Brett Maher is 14 for 15 on field goals. And how about Kelvin Joseph and C.J. Goodwin? See, there's a whole bunch of special teamers I want to talk about.
No doubt about it. I mean, we'll just start with Kelvin and C.J. I mean, just the way they cover. I mean, Kelvin had the huge cover there in the fourth quarter. Brian is, he's an all-pro. He's been incredible since the day he arrived last year, and he's off to another great start. And D.A. is a force. I mean, he's been a force since 2020, since I arrived, and I'm just so proud of him. Not only is he excelling on special teams, he's excelling on defense. So it all starts with John Bones Fossil. He does an outstanding job, and our guys play the right way, and this is going to be a big opportunity for those guys up in Philadelphia, and hopefully we can get some turpentine, cut them loose. So,
there you go.
First game outside, so hopefully the return game gets some opportunities.
Here's another thing. Jerry Jones turned 80 on Thursday. He got the first half of his birthday present last week. How about the second half this week?
Hey, that's the plan, Bill. That's the plan. So no, that would be awesome. I know Jerry would love it.
All right. Good luck on Sunday night in Philadelphia. We appreciate all of you joining us here for the Mike McCarthy Show, and we will see you again next week.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.